Hello. I hope you had a very good service today. For those of us who attended service today, I hope you had a very good time in church today. And as it has become our custom to meet here every Sunday. We hope that subsequently we'll have more time as we have more engagements. We'll have more time, to share a number of things with ourselves. Last week we talked about, the father, the mother. Our focus was more on single women, single mothers, and we shared how not how much of a pressure it is for people to nurse their children all alone as single parents. We also mentioned that it's not good, and that nobody should look up to becoming a single parent. That's also for you to pray very well for those of us who are married, that your spouse will live long in good health and you will all be able to sustain that home, and make sure that all your children are already doing well. And I remember that I showed you a video of a pastor whose mother told him while on her dying bed in the hospital, said to her, when you're preaching, as you preach, make sure you tell every single lady or every lady outside there, never plan to become a single mother. His own mom, that woman died as a single parent. She died at a very young age, and she died of heart attack. And so he said the pressure was much on her. You might find it interesting because some people feel that once they are able to cater for the children financially, that's all. No, I also made mention last week that the place of the man in the house can never be taken over by a woman. We are all wired differently. We are all wired for different purposes, and for you to leave your office and take up somebody else's office, for which you are not even wired. You can go to school, you can train, you can learn, but you cannot get the totality of what the man carries. And so to say that, don't worry, I'm going to handle it, you can't take it for so long. You might enjoy it in the first 1, 2, 3 years. When you begin to run into 5 years, your children begin to grow old, then you realize that something is missing. And in the life of every child that does not have the training of a father, it's always obvious. It shows that this child, and most of the time our mothers are very, very lenient. Very, very few mothers are very harsh. I know the kind of mothers that I'm talking about. Those kind of mothers that use their eyes to choke you when somebody says, come and eat, and then you ask, you consult the oracle. Your mom has become, I don't know if you had such parents. Your mom is one oracle like that, and then you consult the oracle like, should I eat? And the oracle, with all due respect to the oracle, says, eat. Okay. You don't go any further. Instantly you are full. You just tell the person, look, if I don't think I feel like eating anymore. I want to I'm not interested in eating anything. So we've got to get it straight, and that will help us a lot in sustaining our home. Because when you look around the problems that we have around the world today, especially Nigeria, the insecurity problem we have today, the corruption problem we have today, all stemmed up from the family. If we deal with it from any other angle, it will just look as if we are cutting the tree on the head. It will still grow back. You understand? And so we've got to address it properly. We've got to address the home properly, and so that you'll be able to bring up godly offspring. The Bible talks about godly offspring in Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. Most of you don't like Malachi because of 3 verse 8 and 8 to 12, 8 to 10. You don't like it. But there is something in verse 6. When you read from verse 6 downward, you will see something there. There are more things in Malachi than you thought about. It's more than tithes. in Malachi. So the home forms the basis for a society that is free or rid of corruption, that has no corruption. The home forms the basis for it. And so a home that is not properly staged, that is not properly put together, or it's not stable, children that are raised by a single parent. I'm not saying that, a lot of women have tried, but they go and ask them properly, especially the older ones. They will tell you that, look, it has not been funny. It has not been easy. The voice of the man, that voice, no matter how irresponsible he is, that voice in the home, if not overridden, will go a very, very long way. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Let me run quickly. I don't want to take much of your time so that you'll be able to share this video. Some people find heavy videos, very difficult to share. But then, please, let's look at this very quickly. I have said that your wife must, and emphasis on the must contribute to financing the home is a sign of being irresponsible. Stand to be corrected. The platform is open for you. You can drop your comments and tell me, oh, Kunle, I don't agree with you. And just, tell me what you feel. That does not mean that I will agree with you. You understand? But because I already have my points filed out. Now, when you read the Bible, especially 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8, it says that a particular version says that both, if any, do not take care of their relatives, especially the members of their own family, they are denied the faith. They have denied the faith and are worse than an infidel. Now, the King James Version says that they are worse than unbelievers. Now, the King James Version says, and now you see that has stuck to me. The King James Version says that such persons are worse than infidels. And so, now look at it. If you say that but the point is that when you read it properly, it didn't even mention that it's the man that should take care of the family and all of that. It didn't mention, but we all know what Apostle Paul was telling Timothy there. Now, because it all began with a man. It all began with a man. One of the things I told you last week was that the man is made from it's a rough product. It's a rough product, was made from sand, proper sand. We don't know whether gravel mixed together with sharp sand and loamy soil and all of that were mixed together, to make the man. And then the woman was made from just one of the ribs, a fine product. The woman is a very fine product, very, very refined, very, very refined. That's why I find it very, very how would you want to take the place of a man who was made from a very rough product, who is very, very rough? That's why you find some men, they are so rough, they are so dirty. A man he just comes in and removes his stinking socks and just throws it this way, removes his shoes and throws it this way. And then the wife is just like, oh my, for how long will I do this? Don't worry, that's the way they are being wired. Yeah, except you now bring him up, now help him. The way he's coming in, don't welcome him alone in the sitting room. As you are welcoming him, guide him into the room. Guide him, don't let him sit down in the sitting room. Because if he sits down, he will remove the shoes and do the same thing that you said he should not be doing again. So just guide him into the room and you see, honey, so how was your day? How was this? Guide him into the room so that when next is coming, he'll be able to go straight to that side. So, I just taught you something there. Now, looking at this particular topic, the man is saddled with the responsibility to cater for the home. Especially financially. And let me quickly point out that so many men, we have men who have lost their homes to this, this idea of my wife must contribute. And in the process of the, innocent woman trying to contribute, jumps into the hands of a man who does not need her to contribute. She falls into the hand of a man who does not need her to contribute. Many have lost their homes to this particular thing. Many. You say she must. She's saddled with a responsibility. And so many of us feel that, my focus is more on the men this weekend. So many of us feel that what does she do? She's not doing anything. Even the one you call a housewife, even the one you call a housewife, she does the cooking. Some, they do your laundries, they do the cleaning of the house, have you thought about it? If you are going to employ people in those particular offices, how much you would have been paying? And some of you still come out to say she doesn't do anything. She doesn't say, what does your wife do? She says she doesn't do anything. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You now say what do you contribute to the running of this family? Some of you even go to the extent of saying that you see we must pay the school fees of the children together. We must pay our house rent together. Come on. I think you should focus more on God helping you to carry the responsibility of the home properly. The woman is saddled with enough responsibilities than you are even now. What you are doing is that you are overloading her. I once heard a story of a young woman who husband said, "Go on, you must start on him. You must be contributing." And so she started a small business. And so while the husband and his friends were joking at their resting place, their parlor, their beer parlor or whatever, at the club, while they were joking, one of them said, this one said, "I trust my wife so much. I trust her so much. I trust her." And this other one said, "That's not true. I can get your wife." And lo and behold, they agreed and went on a bet. The husband of the woman gave the guy so much money, and so connected with the woman online and got chatting with her. And because of the kind of vessel, look, don't blame them. The woman is a delicate vessel. It's a glass. It's like a glass. She's delicate. So it's not an issue of is a weaker vessel. No, even when we are not talking of strength. I mean, we've seen, like I said last week, there are videos I've seen. I can't show you here because I don't want so that we don't get blocked. Now, I've seen women hitting their husband to death, killing their husband. They were fighting, and the woman was the one who actually hit him to death. And so there was. I will share this. I will share the other one with you. But let me finish that story. This guy got connected with the woman and they got talking. And so, because the man had saddled the woman with the responsibility to make money, this other guy offered her some money, a little money. And I said, you do small business? And I said, yes, I do business. And I said, I can add XYZ amount of money to it. The woman collected the money and didn't tell the husband. Are you getting me? She collected the money and didn't tell the husband. And so that's when they went a step further and said, okay, maybe I should give you some more. And the man sent extra money again. The woman still did not tell the husband. The husband kept coming to the shop and was seeing that everywhere was booming, whereas it was the husband that was on a bet with the guy and was giving the guy the money to spend. Lo and behold, the man lured the woman, that guy online, that the woman had never set her eye upon, lured the woman to an hotel, said, "Come and meet me in so-so hotel." And the woman, who feels that this man has done so much, he has helped me to carry my burden so much, wanted to pay back in kind, went to see the young man in the hotel, and the husband walked in while they were just about doing their business. What am I saying, essence? Now you can place so much blame on the husband. Oh, why would she have done such a thing? Why would they have done such a thing? But seriously, you want to blame the woman? Oh yes, she's got her own blame. She's got her own blame. Why would she be talking to a stranger and somebody was sending money to her and the husband did not know about it? It wasn't even a relative. Somebody was, and she was collecting the money. Nobody was taking account of that. Yet she's got her own fault. But I fault the man. I fault the man. But you are not even supposed to put your wife to such a test. There was no need for it. Because anything could have happened. The man could even have slept with your wife without you knowing. Remember where it started from. That so many men, so many husbands have lost their wives to this instinct, this idea of that you must contribute. You must contribute to the financing of this home. You must contribute. Who says the woman must contribute? Who says the woman must contribute? You, in the process of heaping that load on them, they get choked and they fall. They most of them mess up because they want to meet, they want to get to that place where you are forcing them on. Now, listen to me. For the sake of the women who watch this video, I'm not saying that you cannot give, you cannot contribute. God chooses who to use to channel finances into a family, depending on the prudence of either of you. If the man is a non-prudent fellow, then God will not use him to channel finances into that family, especially when, you both are his children. Especially when even the wife is a child of God. God can choose to use women. I know wonderful women who God uses to channel so much money into the family, and you will never know that she's the one that God is using. She's not. You will never know. He's more highly placed. He's more highly placed. Now, that is God. That is God's own, way of doing his own thing. But that you as a man will saddle your wife with the responsibility of contributing to, the financing of your home. It is gross irresponsibility. It is grossly irresponsible of such a man. You should be focused on begging God to see to it that all the days of your life, whenever they say there is a need in the home, that you will have to give to them. You will have to give. You will have to give. If you have shared it that way, then you now come back to claim that you are the head of the family. Which head? What makes the head? As small as my head, it contains some of the most vital organs of the body. But I tell you, if your kidney, anything goes wrong with your kidney, even your head will not work again. And the kidney is not in the head. Now somebody is looking like, oh, really? Like seriously? Yes. You might have your own opinion. It's possible. You might have your own opinion. But the truth remains that many have thrown their wives out. They have thrown their wives into other men's hands. They have made their wives to become promiscuous, unplanned. Let me point out at this point that most of these women that you see that become that have extramarital affairs, they didn't plan it all. It is in the marketplace of life that you threw them as the husband.